blev glad när han hörde Karpovs resultat ifrån Rotterdam därför att det var ett så oväntat resultat. Och han säger att jag tror aldrig att Karpov någonsin under sin karriär förlorat 3 partier i en turnering. Men det ökar ju mina chanser att vinna.
But I repeat, it changed nothing in my preparation because
Men säger han, det har ju inte ändrat någonting på mina förberedelser. Jag har jobbat mycket hårt inför den här turneringen i Skellefteå.
By the way, how long is it since you lost 3 games in a row in a tournament?
Ja, på frågan hur länge sedan det är han själv förlorar 3 partier i rad i en turnering så säger han att ja, visserligen förlorade jag 3 partier mot Karpov i VM-matchen i Leningrad, men jag vann ju titeln.
No. Even in my childhood, I can't remember it.
Han säger också att han undrar om han har aldrig någonsin själv förlorat 3 partier på raken i en turnering. Och Karpovs förluster i Rotterdam var en mycket ovanlig händelse.
You can't foresee the future, but I think it's very rare case. And even in Rotterdam, Karpov lost 3 games because after his first loss, he wanted to win the second game. He lost the second game, and he wanted to win the last game against John Nam.
När Karpov hade förlorat sitt första parti i Rotterdam så började han spela för att ta igen sig Kasparov. Det vill säga vinna nästa och så återigen nästa. Och han kämpade alltså som den stora idrottsman han är. Men psykologiskt gjorde han fel. Han borde ha tagit det lite lugnare.
And as a great sportsman, he had to fight for victories in all these games. But as a great psychologist, and he had to understand that it was very dangerous to play for a win the game immediately after the first loss.
One grandmaster told me the explanation for this might be that
Kasparov frågan, är det så att när Karpov måste vinna, ja då förlorar han?
No, I think he was very tired.
Nej, det håller inte Kasparov med om. Han pekar istället på världscupturneringarnas oerhörda hårdhet. Att alla inom en relativt kort tidrymd måste spela 4 tuffa turneringar. Och det är lätt att plötsligt bli trött. Och det är vad Kasparov tror hände med Karpov. Det är kanske lätt att tappa kontakten lite grann med verkligheten. Speciellt när man är igång och slåss om första platsen i den här världscupen.
Beside me now is one of the strongest players in the world for 25 years, the Hungarian Grandmaster Lajos Portis. We are now going to talk about chess since he won his game today, but later on in the programs we will hear him sing. He is also a renowned opera singer in his homeland. Congratulations with the game today, Portis.
Thank you very much.
That was the first time I understand that you have beaten Riebel.
Yes, although we have played several games, of course, but a lot of them ended in a friendly draw.
Yes, and well, as I understand it also, he is one of the hardest players in the world to beat.
Actually, he has a very solid style, and but maybe there is some misunderstanding about his style because he sometimes plays very sharply, especially the openings. But somehow a lot of his games end quickly in a draw.
Yes. So you must be pleased with your start in this tournament anyway.
Well, that's all right.
But I suppose that you're not so pleased with your performance in the World Cup as a whole.
Well, of course not, but let's wait until the end of this tournament.
Yes, that's right. We have now in front of us on the board, the decisive position in the game against your game against Riebel. Could you show us what happened?
Well,
here?
Actually, I am white and I am better because I have a very strong pass pawn here on the c file. My opponent's last move was h5, threatening to play h4, so I have to prevent it. So I played h4, although I was fully aware of the fact that if my opponent would play queen e4, probably he would be able to hold the game, because now his main threat is taking g3.
Yes.
So I cannot move the king to h2 because of the queen takes h4 check. So I probably would have to play queen c1, but then black simply blocks the pawn.
And that would be
pawn, and that would be
drawing
probably
position.
drawing possession. Although white is still better, but it's difficult to make progress.
Yes.
But here, at this moment, my opponent made a mistake. He played b4, and this move allows me to penetrate with the queen to d7.
Yes.
This is very strong now.
So the b4 pawn move.
Probably
B4
this is
was
losing move.
the losing move.
That's all right. That's how the game
Yes,
works.
that's right. That was his.
Okay. So that was his last move. Now he played
Yes,
b4.
he played b4 here.
So now I played queen d7.
Yes.
Now he played a5. Now I played king h2. Now black played f6. Now white played bishop d4. Now black plays queen e4. Now it's very nice what I have here, because I took f6. If I take c7, then black takes d4, and it's probably a draw, because
Yes.
I cannot get out. My king always, black has perpetual check. But since I
So you sacrificed.
well,
that
actually,
isn't a sacrifice,
it's not
no.
a sacrifice, because well, his bishop is also hanging.
Yes, that's right.
But the point is that black cannot take back, because then when the bishop is checks. So he
Yes.
also must sacrifice his bishop.
Yes.
But in this way, both king will be exposed, and this gives white a very good chance to queen his pawn. So king takes g3, pawn takes bishop, and now c6. Now it's not easy to give perpetual checks. Queen e5 check.
Yes.
Probably there was another try to play f5, but then c7. But how we analyzed, black has no perpetual checks, because then queen g4 check, the king goes around, and finally in the long run white wins.
Yes.
So
he hasn't any drawing chances in perpetual check.
after. But queen e5. Now I made a mistake, because I was slightly pressed by time, and I played king h3. I wanted to repeat the moves. Actually, that happened because my opponent played queen e4.
Yes.
But he might have tried queen f4, and it makes it much more difficult to me to win the game.
Yes.
So, but as he played queen e4, I went back, and now queen e5 check. Now the king goes, of course, to a better square. I might have played queen f3 right away.
Yes.
So now if queen in c3 check, then the king goes just back to g2, and black has no more checks. So black has to play f5 in order to give a check at e4.
Yes.
So but now white is winning, because simply queen c8 check, king f7, and queen b7 check. And this is the final position where black resigned, because white next move is c7, and since the diagonal is
Yes.
defended, black has no chances anymore. Well, it's interesting, but black might have tried this. Of course, Ripley also saw that this is losing, because then the pawn ending comes out by c7, queen e4 check, queen takes, pawn takes, king takes e4, now king d7, and now king d5.
Yes.
And now if he takes here, then king c5. If a4, then king e4, c4, and white is just winning the pawn ending.
The pawn ending.
But that's why my opponent resigned.
Yes. Well, that was a very good game, and you are playing Nikolic tomorrow.
Yes.
You must be optimistic after your win today.
Well, you know, it is my principle. I never talk about chances and possibilities. I don't like to talk about coming opponents. So please don't ask me.
No, all right. But one question, final question for this: how long can a chess player keep in the absolute top of the list, top of the table, of the elite?
Well, this is a difficult question. Of course, it depends on your individuality.
Yes.
So I have tried a lot of things besides chess. So that's why, for example, I like music very much, and that's why I'm singing, because it really freshes me up. That's my hobby. I have to correct you. I'm not an opera singer, but I would like to be.
Yes, you would have been if you hadn't chosen the chess.
Perhaps.
Thank you very much, Mr. Portis. The games tomorrow, which are going to be played tomorrow in the second round, it's Nigel Short playing white against Ulf Andersson, I should have said. Yasser Seiravan playing white against Jan Elvest, Zoltan Ripley playing white against John Nunn, Predrag Nikolic white against Lajos Portis, Viktor Korsnoy white against Valery Salov, and Anatoly Karpov white against Garry Kasparov, and that will be the most interesting and most important game of tomorrow's round. Robert Hübner has white against Guayla Sachs, and Mikael Tal has white against his countryman Rafael Vagenian. But this will be all from Skellefteå tonight, and we wish you a very good night.